Okay, everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephen Chris. I'm going to be taking you guys on JavaScript beginner course where we're going to be looking into data types. But just before we get into it, I want to give you a quick breakdown of what JavaScript really does. So JavaScript is, like the name says, is a scripting language for the web. Basically, the way to understand that rudimentarily is that JavaScript is the language that we use to give behavior to or character to the web. So every time you click a button, navigate to a new page, scroll down somewhere, open a menu and all that stuff, you have basically just interacted with your web through the help of JavaScript. Alright, JavaScript is what allows you to be able to do that. Before JavaScript, you could not do any of that. You just basically had to look at static texts and images. Now JavaScript has data types, and these data types simply mean the kind of data that we are able to work with. It means the kind of things that you can do with JavaScript, the kind of data that is allowed that you can pass on to JavaScript. So we're just going to quickly look at 5 major data types. Some people like to say 7 because there is 2 other one, symbol and big int, but we're not going to be looking into that. We're just going to dwell on this 5. All right, and the first one that we're going to be looking into is called strings. Strings are really just text. It's a basic way to look at it. They're like text. They are everything you find in between quotation marks. So for example, everything that is a text, just picture when you think about strings, just think about plain text. All right, it might help you that way. While they are not necessarily text, but just look at them like that. So I can say, if I want to declare a text, I can say name is equals to Stephen Chris. Now this is a string. This Stephen Chris is a string, so you can call it like a string of text. This is a variable name, but we're going to treat that altogether in a separate video. Alright, so this is string. A string is basically a block of text. You can do anything with it. Alright, the next one that we're going to look into is numbers. It's very straightforward. Numbers is anything that is a number or a floating point. So a number can be numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It can be anything like that. It can also be a point. It can be a floating point. It can be 0.2. It can be 1.8. Anything, just anything really. Anything that is a number is a number. All right. Booleans are truthy or falsy values. For instance, what that means is they are like yes or no values, true or false. It means that they only have 2 outcomes or 2 values. Either they are true or they are false. So for example, if I say, take an example from the string here where I said my name is Stephen, right? If I say, oh, is my name Stephen? That's true because that's what it says there. My name is Stephen, so name is Stephen Chris. So they are usually true, or they are false. They're true or they are false. All right. With a use case scenario that you can apply this to is like switch buttons. If you ever use the web application where you have to switch between the light and dark mode and all that, this is the use case scenario. So when the value is true, the dark mode is on, but when the value is false, the dark mode is off. So something like that. All right. One other one that we're going to look up into is arrays. So think of array as a tray or a bowl with different kind of elements. All right, an array is a collection of elements that are grouped together. An array is a collection of elements that are grouped together. The way we declare array is that we put them in between brackets. All right, now we can just say const items is equals to array. Now an array can contain anything and any amount of things. It can contain other kinds of data as well. An array can contain numbers, then it can contain text, so it can contain a string, right? It can contain a string. It can also contain anything. It can contain true, it can contain true, right? So it can contain true or false, and it can contain a boolean. Alright, so it can take anything. Alright, it can contain very much so, anything. So basically what we're doing here is that we're storing these items into an array. It's a group of elements. Alright, so a use case scenario where you would think of this is maybe a collection of students. So let's say in a classroom of 12 students, you can collect their names in an array. Alright, so you can take anything and all that stuff here, anything at all. Another kind of data that we'll look at is objects. Alright, objects are another way we store data, but I like to say that they are a way we store related data. In arrays, we don't necessarily have to store related data. They could be related by a certain characteristic, but the difference between the both of them is that while array items are separated by comma, well, array is a group of items that is stored directly. An object makes use of key value pairs. And what does that mean is, let me just show you. That means I can say const student is equals to, right? So one way we know an object is that we basically put them in between parentheses. Alright, we put them in between parentheses like this. Alright, then remember I mentioned key value pairs. What that means is I can say name, right? And then I can say Steven, right? I can then say age is equal to 12. You see that? Gender, female, I can say female, false. So you see that. So this is an object. So if you see here, what I meant by related data is that you can see from here that this collection of data is basically related together. So we're talking about a person. If I quickly do something here and I just say console.log student, this is my terminal. We'll still look at how the terminal works in a different video, but in my terminal, if I say node app.js and I just log that to the console, I should be able to see student show up in my terminal. Okay. Okay. Something's wrong with it. Just move forward. So if I say if I go to my terminal and I said node app.js, you see it logs it out for me. Name Steven, age 12, female, false. You see that? So basically object is how we store a collection of data. We can access this with what we call, so we can actually access each item in this object using what we call a dot notation. So if I wanted to get the name of this student, I could just easily say console.log student.name. You see that? So now if I log this to the console, let me just clear that out, and then go node app.js, it should give me that name. It will give me the student entirely first because I'm logging the entire student to the console. Then I'll say to give me student.name. You see that? Steven and all that stuff. So you see name Steven. So if I comment this out so you don't get confused for a minute, allow me to do that just for a second. Steven. You see that? Okay, so that's what an object is. Null. What is null? A simple way to explain null is an object of a kind. This is a type of object. That's just an easy way. There's a lot of confusion around what a null value is, but a null value really is just an object. If you'd let me just quickly let's look at what Google has to say. What is a null? So nobody knows it all. So you see, the null value represents the intentional absence of an object value. It is one of the JavaScript primitive values and is treated as falsy or boolean. You see, it is intentionally absent. So you can take null as an object that you intentionally left out. You declare the variable. So if I say const box equals to null. If I try to console the log, let's log box to the console, log box, right? And then let's just check our terminal here. Yes, node app.js. You see, it gives us null. So box is null, right? And all that stuff. So it's usually true T of value and all that stuff. So the one more that we're going to look at is undefined. All right, undefined basically means that the name has not been set, the value has not been set. Yeah, basically you're saying that value has not been set. So you could declare a variable but not set its value and all that. So I can say const box2 is equals to undefined. You see, so it means that I want to have box2 in memory, but I don't want to set its value. So if I just check that in the console and I say box2 and then I say node app.js, you see it turns undefined like that. So but if I then set it here and I said box2 is equal to box2 is equals to, and just say this is box2, right? And then I console again box2. Now what would happen is that it will first tell me that it is undefined, then it will tell me this is box2. You see that? We must have done something. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, very rookie mistake, but it's alright. We all do that, happens to the best of us. So not see, this is box2. See that? So box2 is undefined. Now this is box2. So what I have done is that I have come back in memory and set box2, right? And all that. So that's really what data types in JavaScript is all about. So again, a recap is that data types are the kind of data that we can work with in JavaScript. They are the way we communicate with JavaScript. They are like input data that we can use in JavaScript. They are a way for us to they're the kinds of information that we can pass onto JavaScript. And again, we mentioned that they are strings, they are numbers, they are booleans, arrays, objects, null, and undefined. We're still going to, in the next video, in another video, we're going to treat objects in depthly, but before that we're going to look at items like functions and all of that stuff. So I hope you guys learned a thing or two. Please don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications for more videos. Thank you.